and you have to hold their head, and it just, I'm not really ready for that, is what I'm trying to say. I just think, the plus is they are really soft. I don't know if you've ever, touched cheeks with a baby, but they're like super soft and they smell good. So that's cool. But aside from that, I haven't decided. I really enjoy skiing and biking, whenever I want. And coming home to the hubs, having a Kahlua and almond milk, watching a endless marathon of The Walking Dead, and smoking weed. Let's be honest. Is there anything wrong with that? It's just where I am right now. Kahlua and almond milk really puts things into perspective. It's like chocolate milk. It's so good. Thanks for bearing with my notes. I think it's funny that some people are still really scared about the whole weed thing. It's not like we've legalized meth. I mean, have you seen the before and after pictures of meth heads? Before and after picture of somebody who's like on the weed is like, one of the 7 dwarves. It's like happy and dopey. I mean, it's a little less harmless than, nobody's gonna miss any teeth out of the deal. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's just like tread this new law lightly and, walk into it and be bold and write some new legislation. I've always wanted to say legislation in a stand-up set. You guys are ready for that. Another thing I've realized, or discovered as of late, is I have a resting face. We all kind of have like resting faces when we're staring off into space. And I have this resting face that is not unlike a quizzical, angsty, toothless immigrant, like my old Polish grandma. Like, that's so unattractive, right? I mean, you were all like, whoa, I had no idea she could look so terrible. And we went on a couple vacations, and I was like, where are my teeth? Like, am I constipated? What's that all about? And what's worse is not just pictures. Like, a couple weeks ago, we went out to the desert for our last bike ride, and we go out, and I'm looking out and enjoying the drive to Moab, and then I look into the rearview mirror, and I'm like, hey, Self, and Self was doing this. So unattractive. So there's that. So I've been working on it, instead of the toothless old woman with a babushka, I've tried to go with something like this, which is a little bit more shocking, or like the constipation move to like a shark or something. Like, how did that happen? Thanks, you guys are really helping me out. I'm lubing the room for the later comics. You're welcome. Something else that is interesting, and anybody who's in a relationship, you get. I mean, it's redundant to say men and women communicate differently. We all know that, right? But what I have discovered with my husband is that men and women, like, we have different ways of, men don't understand low talking. Let's just say that. Like, when I'm trying to, like, for example, I'm trying to talk about somebody in public who's near me, and I'm trying to speak lowly. That's kind of rude. Jesus wouldn't do that. But we have all been in a situation, if you live in Aspen, you see a couple of Yeti boots, and you're like, look at that girl over there. And you heard what I was saying, and I could say, look at that girl. And my husband says, what? I can't hear what you're saying! I don't understand! Guess who's not familiar with spy games? Not me! I'm like, really? Thank you for blowing my cover. They are 5 inches away from us. What the fuck is your problem? I have a very good friend who I like to refer to as my same-sex life partner. She may or may not be here. I could call her bestie, but I like same-sex life partner because it's, it's fun. I could be walking down the same street with her, and we see the person that we want to make a comment about. I would look at her. She would already be looking at me. We would maybe raise our eyebrows and be like, oh. And then a block later, we would be like, right? You know, even if she didn't see that, I could look at her and be like, look at that. And she would read lips and understand the direction I was pointing, the emphasis that I was putting, and like be down. And my husband's like, what? And now we're in ski season, you know, where there's helmets. And I'm like 2 people behind my old boss that I worked for 10 years. And I'm like, I'm just like, let's, what are you saying? Be more clear. And it works in reverse too, because we actually, it was in biking season, so we're at the top of our bike ride, right? And we're sitting there having a snack, and then this woman bikes up, and she is a very buxom woman with large augmented breasts. They're kind of standing at attention. We all saw it, you know. And instead of him giving me the like, which I would have understood, she is, you know, I'm not good with yards. I think she's maybe 20 feet away. You know, she's like past us. And in complete speaking voice, he might as well be Mike. He's like, turns and looks at me and he's like, was it just me or are her tits totally huge at the same time as giving me like the international symbol for big tits? I just got on my bike and rode away. I was like, you are not getting tapped by the CIA anytime soon there, honey. I'm telling you, he still hasn't learned it. Any workout fanatics in the room? Yeah. Have you tried Pure Barre? Anybody Pure Barre? You know what this is? It's the fusion ballerina class where it's all about lengthening and toning, and I appreciate that. I like a good workout class. I like some Zumba, right? I like Zumba because I can be awkward and the wild crane that I am, and I can be judged, but it's fun. Now, Pure Barre is just more like pure torture, and it's like, let's take Black Swan and fuck with people and make their tiny muscles that they didn't know they had hurt all the way to next week or next month. And I went to it a couple times, and when I got to class, I was like, okay, you know, I'll give this a shot. And, you know, as you're sitting there scooping your pelvis, you just want to scoop. You know, you're scooping, you're holding onto a bar, your legs are in a V, and you're scooping. You know, so I'm scooping, and I'm looking around for the other sane people to be like, this is fucking crazy, right? And I look in the entire room. This is the other problem. There were a bunch of competitive blonde girls. No offense to blondes. But they were all like, and I look and I see nothing. I see, like averting my gaze. Like, stop looking at me, silly lady. I'm trying to scoop. And I was just like, really? That's what I get. It was like a bad sorority rush. It was terrible. Terrible. The scooping, it was good. I was like, listen, Tits McGee, you're not a fucking athlete. This is not athletics. Don't make it something it's not. And then I get mad because then I get like my Athleta or Title IX magazines, and I'm looking at that, and there's actually a 4-page spread where it says, raise the bar. And I have nothing against dancers. You're a dancer? Dance. Danskin, isn't that what that's called? I mean, and then over here, like, Sculptin Tone, but like, have I ever been like, ugh, I wish there was something that was like wicking and like totally, you know, like, it was like pants with a built-in skirt so I could totally like scoop better. Like, that would really increase my performance if I had a built-in skirt with some wicking material for Pure Barre. I told that joke kind of out of order, but you got the point. Pure Barre. What am I doing after Pure Barre? Pure torture. You're not an athlete. That's right. Don't tell them that. Oh, funny talkers. So Aspen is such a fun little town because it's a small town. That's where I live. Been there for 12 years. But it's cool because we get a ton of international visitors, and then, we get people who come here to work from other countries and then, end up staying and being locals, and I think it's fun. Accents are really interesting to me. Like, I love to do accents and imitations, and I am like a 5-year-old. I no shame. I give it right back to them, Like, it was a time I was on a vacation with a Croatian. I had no idea how much I actually already spoke like that at home until I was on vacation. I was like, hello, he's like, what are we doing today? And I was like, I think we'll go to the beach first. And then, I don't know, I went backpack, I don't know. And I was like, he's right in front of you, you have to stop doing that. He's like, and then I'm like doing it right back, because I think I just like it, I like it. So I work with this Italian guy, who's great, and he has been in the United States for 20 years, but he still has a very thick accent. He's still very much Italian. He's great. He's like this super charming, rustic, sophisticated, world travel bigot. You should hear the things that come out of his mouth. I'm like, oh my God, it's like a time warp. You're like my grandpa, but you're 45. The racist things you say, and you're like, he's okay with it, I guess in Italy, that's how they talk. But he also tells me, he's like, when you get married, you need knee pads, because you need to start scrubbing floor. I'm like, okay. But the other day, and sometimes, he's like, we'll be joking, and I work with a bunch of guys, so it kind of gets gross sometimes. And somebody was making a weird, finger smell joke, so that's just, bringing you into where we were. And then he was like, I'm gonna jump into this. So he starts faking that he's got his hand down his pants, and he was like, I am flavoring. And I was like, I think you meant seasoning, and that's disgusting. Something was lost in translation. You're not flavoring anything. But he's great. He's sweet, and like I said, I like that. I work at a gallery where we have a lot of international clients, people coming in, and we're about to get Australian people on their summer break, and Brazilians come in February, and this woman I met last year from Brazil, she was beautiful, the kind of beautiful woman that would stop men on the streets and stop me too. I don't swim in the lady pool, but she was so pretty that I was like, Mega Babe, freeze up, And I was talking to her, and I was all sheepish, and so we're chatting, and then I was like, okay, well, if you need any more help, my name's Beth. What was your name? And she was like, Aurora. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, one more time. Aurora. And I was like, okay, her name was a cross between a speech impediment and a blowjob demonstration, and I felt like I used to. Kind of wishing I could be that quizzical, toothless immigrant now. Yes, and then another 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and my silly little English brain was like, oh, Aurora. Aurora, that's how we say it. Something else that is new. I didn't move to Aspen to be a ski bum, but I have changed jobs, so in the last 2 years I've kind of found skeezus. I came back to, I would ski 2 days a week, 1 day a week, and then I got to this place where I was like, now I'm skiing a lot. And it's great. It's really fun. It's moving here all over again. And so with skiing a lot, I end up skiing more with men because they're the only crazy people that ski all the time, except for the other person who's here who skis with me, who's female. But not a lot of my female friends have the time to ski 4 days a week, or go on a random lunch break or morning or something like that. So it's been really fun, and I ski with the guys a lot. I ski with my husband and his friends, and excuse me. Go a little faster. Almost choked on my own spit. So I hang out with my husband and his friends, and skiing with the boys is great. It's totally different. Nobody waits for you. You don't pee inside. Nobody gives a shit if you're cold. And, God, what else? Nobody talks to each other. So my point is, you get really good at skiing. You're really, really good. And it's fun. I mean, it's I'm not gonna lie. I have a little bit of a competitive edge, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting better at skiing. Like, I'm not hucking cliffs, but I'm like, seeing improvement. And it's super fun. And I feel like, I've earned a little bit of ski cred because I can, I'm not like down the run first, but I'm pulling up the rear and I'm hanging with boys, and it's really, really, really fun. So last year I skied 82 days, which is a record for me. For somebody who touched a salty mic, I keep doing it over and over.
Sorry. I know who spit it is, too.
I'm reaching this, pinnacle of, I'm going to be a better skier, and I got this cred, and, so I've earned this respect, and I left one morning, it was last year, my husband and I left to go skiing. There's new snow, and I'm trained now. I do not take my shoes and then change into my boots. I go, I'm dressed and ready to go because there's no waiting. And so we're walking with another male friend, and we're meeting up with two other male friends, and I'm hanging behind them, and I had a lot of coffee that morning, and my stomach wasn't feeling so awesome. So anyway, I'm walking. And then we're a block away from the gondola, and here come the other guys, and they're like, yeah! And I'm like, amazing! And I'm like, hey! And then, I'm in the back, and my stomach feels kind of weird, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and let this fart out. And so I fart. So I fart, and then I stop, and the surprise face comes over, and I think, here I have earned this respect, and what do I do with that? I shart. That's my thing. Thanks for laughing, Maria. How can I be so short-sighted? Who do I think I am? Do I think I just fart as I please? I'm 34. This isn't as tight as it used to be. It's getting weaker and weaker every year. Now look at me. I'm 10 layers deep. I'm a block away from the gondola, and I'm going to disappoint them. And no truer words have been spoken. Never trust a fart. I'll work on that one. My name is Beth Brandon. That's my time.